ready to listen. Because believe it or not, there are some folk in what they're dealing with, it ain't got bad enough yet. It ain't got bad enough for them to listen. But when they hit a certain place, they're going to come running for some instruction or for some help. Some of you are dealing with major issues this morning, but you're allowing your fixation on your problem to block you from hearing the solution. And you can't do that. But guess what? That's what worrying does. That's what worrying does. When you're worried, a person can walk up and speak your answer to you, but because you so focused on the problem, you didn't even hear the solution. And some of you, your problem is not as difficult as you think, but it's going to require you to change some, to grow up, to mature. It can be fixed, but are you willing to do what you need to do? Abraham knew that worrying about it or just focusing in on what he couldn't do was not going to get the job done. Oh, God, speaking to some of us today. Then, Pastor, what did he do? He looked at who made him the promise. Tina, that's what you got to do this morning. Tell somebody you have to be reminded of who made you the promise. Watch this. Who told you you was going to get it? Who said that you were going to live like that? Who told you that you were coming out? Who said? You have to focus on the promise. But watch this. The reason most of us don't do it is because we're ignorant to the fact that we can. Hold on. Let me deal with it. Because some folk think they have to worry. Pastor, if a problem is there, how are you not going to worry about it? I'm going to take control of my mind. Did you hear me? Because when you sit up and worry all night, knowing it ain't helping, guess what? You do so because, in part, that's what you chose to do. Only thing you want to talk about is your problem. That's you choosing to do that. And if a person don't want to talk about your problem, you say stuff like they don't care. No, it ain't that they don't care. You ain't listening to nobody in reference to solving the problem. So I'm not going to sit here and keep repeating myself over and over to somebody who has stopped their ears from hearing or listening. Whoa, boy, I think am I upsetting somebody? How many of you like me? I ain't going to sit here and just keep telling somebody the same old thing over and over. And it's obvious you're not listening. You're not ready to listen. Because believe it or not, there are some folk in what they're dealing with, it ain't got bad enough yet. It ain't got bad enough for them to listen. But when they hit a certain place, they're going to come running for some instruction or for some help. And so God trying to help us this morning. You have to know that Abraham is not a superhero. He's a man or a human just like you and I. But dealing with, yes, a real problem. Yes, a real issue. But he was refusing to just worry about what he could not change. And so he set his mind. Somebody say, set your mind. He set his mind. Somebody say, set your mind. He set his mind. Somebody shout, set your mind. Listen, he set his mind on what God had said. It'll produce joy and you ain't got a dime in your pocket. But somehow you got happy. You happy, smiling. Why? Because of what you done chose to set your mind on. Now don't sit there and mean mug me. I'm not going to sit here all day and set my mind on it ain't going to work out. Devil is a lie because I know what that's going to produce. It won't work out. I'm going to set my mind on what I know God said about that problem when I took it to him in prayer. I'm going to consider what he's been saying through my man of God who is a bona fide prophet, and he's been telling me not to fear, telling us not to worry, and we need to have the same spirit of faith. So if Pastor ain't going to worry and I'm following him, then I'm going to imitate Pastor. I'm not going to worry either. But watch what a born-again believer can do. Watch what a person who lives by faith has the power to do if he or she chooses to do it. Paul said, finally, brethren. Now, see, he's talking to saints. He's talking to saints. If you ain't accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior, you don't have this power. And depending on who you listen to, you may listen to a certain life coach on TV, and the life coach telling you that you're going to be all right if you just operate with some positive thinking. But I come to tell you, there are demons out there that will tear up some positive thinking, as long as it does not come with no backing from on high. So you got to teach like this. Well, just think positive. And you got them old cotton candy preachers out there preaching. Just keep your mind, just stay positive. It's going to take power to do that. Because certain demons understand that it is their job to cause you to worry, to work on you until. See, that's really the enemy mad that some of you showed up this morning. He wanted to continue to beat on you. But God said, I got to get them somewhere that they can hear a word, so they don't have to continue to live in the way that they are living. But notice this. Again, it changed my life when I started being taught like this. Because there were certain things I didn't know. And you can sit up in church all your life, but certain stuff you don't know. See, I didn't get many amen. Finally, brothering. Watch what Paul tells the church. Whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of a good report, if there's any virtue, is there anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. Tell your neighbor, you got to choose to meditate on things that are praiseworthy. And start allowing whatever entered into your spirit to be praiseworthy. Whatever come through your ear gate need to be praiseworthy. That means I don't need people dumping on me, trying to interfere with me keeping my mind on what my mind need to be on. No, devil is a lie. That's when I don't deal with certain people. But some of you think you so above that you can deal with anybody. You can fool with anybody. You fooling yourself. How you going to deal with people that God don't deal with no more? Are you better than God? If God done left folks alone, if God done said they cursed, then how are you still thick as thieves with them? That's what I'm wondering. It's just like an old no good woman that get hooked up with old no good man. And I didn't call no names. You can't convince that woman that that man ain't no good. Why? Because she see things in him that nobody sees. That's how folks feel when they want to deal with ungodly people. Well, see, I know another side of him. It takes something to keep your mind on the right thing. You have to be a person that ain't about foolishness. Ain't about mess. Come on. That's the only way you're going to set your mind. When God said he going to bless you and all hell break loose, you got to tell yourself, yeah, I'm going through hell, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going through. I'm not going to stop here. It doesn't end here. God, I'm preaching to somebody. It does not end. God going to bring a believer, watch this, through every trial. Where he getting that? From Psalm 34:19. Many are the afflictions of who? But God delivered them out of how many? Out of how many? Out of how many? Tell you, that's the reason I always say about myself that I'm coming out of all of my trouble. Eventually. If you broke, your confession should be, I'm not going to stay broke. Something coming. Y'all ready? Ladder call. If anything virtue, if anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. Watch the things which you have what? Learned. See, what I'm preaching this morning is your responsibility to meditate on it. Don't let it go in one ear and out the other. Don't be them type church folk when service over. You go to church day, yeah, man, we're good too. Pastor done preached up in there today. What he preach about? Man, I don't know what he preached. I don't know, but he was dealing with it. How you dealing with something that ain't even remained in your spirit? Well, you know how it is. It's something about worry, because he been on worry. He been stomping worry. It was something that had to do with worrying. But you know how it is. We can't retain everything that we hear within those. See where you get that from. Where you get that from. It's amazing people retain what they want to retain. It's amazing you can retain everything about a 3-hour movie, but you cannot retain anything within a 45-minute message. Something is wrong with your mindset. Somebody go to a movie for 3 hours and then get mad when it ends. Won't take no restroom break, won't move. And the first person we see that ain't seen that movie, we'll tell them everything about that picture. But how we retaining that? But when it comes to things that matter, you can't retain. Something wrong with that picture. Tell your neighbor, I agree. No, he said, think on the thing which you have learned and received and heard and saw in me. In other words, Paul said, you have me as an example. The scripture said, Paul told the church, imitate me as I imitate Christ. If I tell you I don't worry anymore because it's not biblical, it's unproductive, then you follow me. You don't do what your unsaved cousin do. Do what your pastor do. Do what your pastor do. Don't let folk bother you. You do everything that man tell you to do. Yeah, if it's Bible, I'm going to do it because pastor ain't going to ask me to do anything that's not of God. Am I right? Many of you been here for years. I'm not going to ask you to do something that's wrong. But when I'm sitting up here preaching hard like I am against worrying and you continue to let your problem dominate you, you're being disobedient. You are indirectly proving that you don't belong to God. Because those who belong to God will not only hear God, but they'll obey God.